The universe was filled with strange phenomena, but what the research team found on Vallis 9 defied even the most absurd theories. The planet was a graveyard of giants, massive beings fossilized in the red dust, their bones forming ridges that stretched across entire valleys. For centuries, the Galactic Council had declared Vallis 9 uninhabitable and unremarkable. But when the first human expedition landed there, their instruments began to scream. The planet was bleeding. A slow, steady ooze of silver light trickled from a fissure that spanned nearly 4 kilometers. It wasn't magma. It wasn't plasma. It was something else entirely. Matter that refused to obey thermodynamics or known energy laws. And at the heart of that glowing chasm stood Dr. Elara Vance, a human xenobiologist whose curiosity had ruined more sleep cycles than any alien parasite ever could. "Elara," her assistant Juno called out, waving a scanner. "Readings are inconsistent again. The fissure's emitting energy signatures older than the Big Bang, if that's even possible." Elara crouched near the edge of the glowing wound. "Every time we think we've hit the limit of the impossible," she murmured, "the universe reminds us that we don't even know what's real." The wound pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Juno stumbled back. "Did it just react to you?" Elara didn't move. She'd seen it too. The silver light had shimmered when she approached, the fissure narrowing ever so slightly, as if recognizing her. It was absurd, but Elara had long ago stopped dismissing absurdities. Back at the orbital station Ardent Dawn, the crew reviewed the data in the command dome. Holograms of the fissure rotated in the air, a pulsating scar in the world's crust that emitted gravitational waves instead of sound. Dr. Larek, the team physicist from the alien species, folded his 4 arms. "The energy signature isn't just pre-Big Bang," he said. "It's retrocausal. It's from the future." The room went silent. Elara leaned forward. "You mean the fissure is bleeding time?" "In a sense," Larek replied. "It's a temporal wound. But the question is, what made it bleed?" Everyone looked to Elara. Humans had a reputation in the galactic sciences. Reckless curiosity paired with an uncanny knack for solving the unsolvable. Elara, as the first human to lead an interspecies research initiative, had more to prove than anyone. She turned to the hologram, eyes gleaming. "Then we find out what wounded time itself. Middle, the memory beneath the flesh." The descent team returned to Vallis 9 at dawn. The atmosphere shimmered faintly, charged by the fissure's light. Machines hummed as drones deployed sensor webs into the rift. Larek's voice echoed through comms. "Tread carefully, Dr. Vance. The readings are unstable. The wound doesn't follow linear space. It folds into itself." "That's fine," Elara said, checking her suit's stabilizer. "Neither do I." The team advanced into the fissure. The deeper they went, the stranger the world became. The air grew cold and yet burned at the edges of perception. Walls of stone pulsed with faint luminescence, like veins under alien skin. Felt alive. Not metaphorically but literally alive. And then came the sound. Faint whispers, words just at the edge of translation. "Elara." She froze. Her name, carried by the air, unmistakably human. "Did you hear that?" Juno whispered. Before Elara could answer, the fissure widened of its own accord, revealing a chamber lined with crystalline structures. Floating in the center was an object, a human handprint, scorched into solid stone, still radiating faint heat. Her mind reeled. "That's impossible. No human has been here before. Unless someone or something had rewritten that rule." Suddenly, the fissure walls convulsed. The silver light flared, and Elara's vision fractured. She was no longer standing on rock but floating in a vast expanse of stars. Before her towered a figure made of that same silver energy, a colossal being, its body split by the same kind of wound that tore through Vallis 9. "Who are you?" she whispered. The being's voice resonated in her skull. "You should not see this. The wound must not remember." Elara reached out. "Are you alive? What happened to you?" The entity shuddered. Its voice trembled. "Time is the body. I am its flesh. Something struck me, a paradox. A being that should not exist. Paradox. A living embodiment of time itself, wounded by something that broke causality." The thought sent chills down her spine. "Human," it continued. "Your kind were not meant to find me." "Too late," she said. "I'm here. And if you're hurt, I can help." The being laughed, a sound like collapsing stars. "Help. You cannot heal what reality itself denies." And then Elara felt it. Pulled deep inside her chest like something recognizing something. Her body began to glow faintly, the same silver hue. "What is this?" she gasped. "The paradox," the entity said, "was human." The chamber collapsed in on itself. When Elara regained consciousness, she was back aboard Ardent Dawn, hooked to monitors and surrounded by medics. Larek stood nearby, holding a readout. "You were gone for 3 hours," he said. "But here's the problem. Your body clock says you were gone for 3 years. Elara sat up dizzy. Her hand still shimmered faintly. "The wound. It's alive, Larek. It's not geological. It's cosmic. And it remembers us." He blinked. "Us. Humanity." Middle continued the paradox of flesh and time. In the following days, Ardent Dawn became a fortress of secrecy. The Galactic Council dispatched observers. Some believed the fissure was a weapon. Others feared it was the grave of a god. Elara locked herself in the lab, analyzing her altered physiology. Her blood carried trace elements that didn't exist on the periodic table. Particles that oscillated between present and potential states. She called them chronicles. "Larek," she said during a briefing, "I think the wound tried to repair itself through me." "You mean it infected you?" he corrected. "Maybe. Or maybe it recognized something in us. Something compatible." Juno frowned. "Why humans? Out of trillions of species." Elara stared at the hologram of Earth rotating beside her. "Because we're contradictions," she said softly. "We dream beyond our limits, destroy what we love, and still rebuild. We're paradoxes, just like the wound." The council didn't like that theory. They ordered Ardent Dawn to abandon Vallis 9, fearing contamination. Elara refused. That night, while the crew slept, she returned to the surface alone. The fissure pulsed brighter, as if sensing her return. Her heartbeat synced with its rhythm. "I know you can hear me," she whispered. "If we caused your pain, let me see it." The air rippled, and once again she was pulled into that other place. Only this time it wasn't the vast void. It was Earth, or rather a version of it twisted through time. Skyscrapers grew backward, oceans shimmered like liquid mirrors, and stars hung motionless above. At the center of this warped world stood the same entity, but smaller now, almost human-shaped. Elara approached carefully. "You said the paradox was human. What did you mean?" The being turned, and for the first time she saw its face, a face that was hers. "I am the wound," it said. "And I am you." Climax, the wound's secret. Elara staggered back. "That's not possible." "It wasn't," the being her double said. "Until you made it so." Visions flooded Elara's mind. She saw herself centuries in the future, leading a mission to prevent a galactic catastrophe, a temporal weapon fired by the Council to erase a war from history. She had tried to stop them. The weapon backfired. Time folded, collapsing into itself, tearing the continuum apart. The resulting wound in reality had become Valis, 9. The being continued. When you tried to undo what happened, the paradox created me. A fragment of your consciousness trapped outside time. The universe could not destroy the contradiction, so it bled. Elara trembled. So Valis, 9. It's not just a planet. It's a scar on the universe. A memory of my failure. The entity, her future self, nodded. And now, by coming here, you've reopened it. But if I caused this, Elara said, stepping closer, then I can fix it. Her double smiled sadly. To heal the wound, one paradox must end. You must choose which version of yourself continues, the one bound to time or the one bound to memory. Elara's pulse raced. If I merge with you, what happens? You cease to be singular, the being said. You become part of the continuum, past, present, and future all at once. Humanity's consciousness, anchored to reality itself. She hesitated. To dissolve into time, to lose herself completely. It was a fate worse than death. But if she refused, the wound would continue bleeding, destabilizing causality across galaxies. Elara, her double said gently, you already made this choice once. You came here to finish it. The Fissure's light began to brighten, wrapping around them like a cocoon. The voices returned, whispers of every moment humanity had ever lived. First footsteps on the moon. The first cry of a child on Mars. The first message sent to the stars. Elara took a deep breath. If this is what it takes to heal the wound, then let it remember us kindly. She reached out. Their hands met. The universe screamed, ending the memory of light. When the storm cleared, Valis, 9 was silent. The fissure had closed. Juno and Larac descended days later to find no trace of Elara. No body, no gear. Only a single crystalline shard at the site, glowing faintly. Inside it, a human silhouette shimmered, motionless, serene. Back aboard Ardent Dawn, Larac examined the shard. It's pure chronon lattice, he said. Stable. And listen. He pressed it to the console. The ship's AI translated the frequency into sound. It was a heartbeat, steady, human. Juno whispered. She's still alive in there, isn't she? Larac looked out the viewport. Valis, 9 glowed faintly below, no longer wounded but whole. In a way, he said. She became part of the timeline. She healed it by becoming its memory. Months later, across the galaxy, strange phenomena began occurring. Ships near temporal anomalies reported faint whispers in human voices. Broken chronometers began correcting themselves. Time distortions around black holes stabilized for the first time in recorded history. One report from a mining colony in the Veil Nebula described a human figure appearing in a field of light, touching the air, and closing a temporal fracture that had threatened to devour the system. The miners swore they heard her speak before vanishing. Don't be afraid of the impossible. It's just the universe remembering itself. Back on Earth, a research student studying old deep space transmissions stumbled upon a strange signal. It was faint, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat wrapped in static. When she filtered it through a decryption algorithm, a voice emerged. Elara Vance, it said softly. The wound no longer bleeds. Time remembers what you did. And so do we. The student blinked in awe as the signal ended, leaving behind only a single line of text on her monitor. Every scar is proof that something tried to heal. And somewhere beyond time and space, in the endless glow between moments, Dr. Elara Vance watched the universe breathe again. Whole, unbroken, alive. She smiled and whispered to the cosmos she'd healed. Now sleep. You've earned it.